So there's a day I sat down with my mom and I was like, mom, my baby's skin, especially on the back, is just peeling out continuously and I'm not understanding what this is.
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. As for those who are new here, my name is Stella Muyoka and my channel basically is for women, and as for women in the aspect that we share our experiences as women in our lives, and through our experiences you can be able to actually either better your life, understand the situation that you're going through, and also be able to know ourselves better and express ourselves better basically. So today I'm with a friend today, and we are going to cover on aspect on just hereditary diseases. And I believe this is something that we experience. We get a lot of stigmatization from either our spouses, our friends, our family because of it. And I would let her introduce herself, and from there on she can share her experience, and we can be able to, you know, learn one or two from it. So welcome, Lorraine. You can introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, and how many kids you have, and how are you parenting. Yes.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Lorraine Zaiwa. I'm in the same field with her,
Yes.
pharmaceutical industry. And yeah, I'm a proud mother of one baby, and I'm a wife. I'm a friend to many, of course. Yeah. So yeah, today we're just going to speak broadly about hereditary diseases and how one can handle them as parents, just to take care of their children in a better way.
Yeah. So when we start from the basics, yeah. They usually say through pregnancy and birth, and also parenting our kids, we experience it differently. It's the same thing, but it's different from all of us. So throughout your pregnancy or giving birth, or just, you know, the first few years of parenting, do you feel like there's any any experience that you had, or just a situation that you had, that you feel like a new mom or a mother to be, or that you experience, that you think that you can share it with people for them to actually understand this happens, and or this happens and it's okay for it to happen, and what if you're going through the same, it works its ways out of it.
Okay. Yeah, so in relation to the topic of discussion for today, when I was pregnant, I remember in the first trimester was pretty cool. Like everything was okay, apart from the morning sickness, kidogo, but everything else was okay. Then coming to the second trimester, wow, you're going to the clinics, you're being told your pressure is kidogo high, so you're like, wow, what is this? What is not happening? You know, you're thinking you're very healthy, but then here you are being told you are at a risk of developing preeclampsia, you know? Yeah. So at that point in time, you're shocked. You don't know what will become of you. You don't know the outcomes. But one thing I realized during that time is, if you get to understand the history of your family, some of these things won't come as a shock, you know? Yeah, like for instance, you just have to sit down your mom or your aunt or whoever. You get to ask them, hey guys, how was it when you guys were pregnant back then?
Yes.
So from that point, you can be able to understand how you can take better care of yourself, even if you're diagnosed with any other, maybe gestational diabetes, you know, such things. You can be able to understand how you'll take care of yourself in a better way,
and
to be able to avoid complications.
And also I think you'll get the support, because when they tell you how they went through it, what they did, you know, when you have someone extra in your circle that went through the same thing you went through, I think you accept it easily, and then you also see the fact that they actually went through this, and they you know, go to the other side. You can also go through the same and get to the other side. Yes. So you're done with that. What inspired you to be a mom, or you just wanted to be a mom, or it happened?
Oh my God, not at all. For me, baby, let me tell you, Stella, you see, all through my life, if I may say, I had it all planned out. Like the way you would say, I want to finish school by 18, I want to get married by this, blah, 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 blah. So that was technically me, you know?
Planned, yes.
I had planned it all out. I was like, wow, I want to get married by 25. I want to have my first baby by 26. By 30, I am so done with giving birth, you know? And I want to slay as a mom, you know, and just grow your career. And okay, I thank God it happened the way it
You
happened.
wanted it.
Yeah, the way I wanted it to be, you know. So even with pregnancy, I had it planned out. Yeah, my plan was by 26th,
You have
I
your
should
first
be
baby.
having my firstborn. And I thank God my hubby was for the same as well. He was also prepared to have a baby by then. Yeah, so it didn't come as a shock
So,
for us.
hey, it's good actually. It's very good actually to plan to have a baby, because a baby is just something else.
And by the way, also with the planning, it helps you to also just get your body prepared, you know?
Yes, psychologically.
Yeah,
mentally,
psychologically and health-wise as well.
even financially. You
Even
know,
financially.
I find that it's not it's you find that someone is going to give birth, because I've seen someone experience this. Like the wife is going to give birth. He's trying to get loans to be able actually to pay for the hospital. But if you plan, you can even just take the insurance, do this and this and this, and you're planned for life. So I think people should work towards planning.
But sometimes you never know.
You never know. It happens, but it doesn't actually happen because you are putting yourself in a position. It's a 50-50 position. So there's there's an aspect of it happening, but
There's
you're
a
in denial.
possibility.
Like, it can happen, but no, it won't. I'm very But in reality, it's a 50-50 chance. I don't think it's like it happens. It's just that we made the choice to think it won't happen.
They tend to not want to think about the other side.
The other side of
coin.
it, you just look at the exciting part of it.
Oh,
Oh,
my.
yeah. Yeah, that is nice. It's nice. Planning is nice, and I think most people have gone towards planning. So now, you have you've given birth, you have your child, and you are raising your child. So, at what point did you learn that your child has this condition? Like, what are the signs that came about it, and how did you get to the diagnosis of it?
By the way, first of all, do you know mothers are usually the baby's first doctors?
It's true.
Yeah. So let me say, like, for the first 3 months, everything was okay. He was feeding well. He was adding weight and everything else. But then with this hit of Mombasa, at some point when he was around 4 months, he started having some rashes on the skin.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the hell is this, So you go to the pediatrician, you're there, he says it's this and this. You go back home, after 2 weeks, nothing is getting better, So you're wondering, what is this, So there's a day I sat down with my mom and I was like, mom, my baby's skin, especially on the back, is just peeling out continuously, and I'm not understanding what this is. Because at that time, it was just purely breastfeeding,
Yeah.
Yeah, so me taking time to just actually talk to my mom helped me get to understand what is happening, So the next time I went to the doctor, I told him, Doc, I think this might be eczema, And eczema is a genetic condition. Like, if your mother has it, your grandparent has it, you have it, there is a high possibility that your baby will also have it.
Yes.
Yeah? So sometimes you may find it's being misdiagnosed, and in this age and era where we are working moms, you have to get back to work at 3 months. So sometimes doctors may kind of misdiagnose it for a reaction to this formula milk, But if you get to really understand your history, your genetic history, it will also enable the doctors to kind of diagnose your baby's conditions better. Yeah?
But I think for Mombasa, most doctors can misdiagnose that because this happens to kids because of heat.
Yeah.
I think my child had the same, but it was just because of heat. So I think the first assumption, because of their history of kids having this is just heat. They give you the oil, the ointment you go apply. Yes, you apply and it goes. You see, I think that actually maybe even that could be a contribution as to why they didn't at first diagnose the kid, your child with that. Yes.
Yeah. So actually, if it's eczema, it's not even about the heat per se. If it's eczema, that's purely genetic. But if it's now atopic dermatitis, that's where now the heat comes in, because the kid sweats a lot, and then the water just gets dry out of the skin, so the skin gets irritated.
Yeah.
But if it's genetic, regardless of whether it's the heat or what,
not,
the flare-ups just come. You'll find you even gone to a place that's cold, but you find the rashes are just there, Yeah, so getting to understand that will help the doctor to also get to differentiate what it actually is.
So it's usually good when you're having issues, like you feel like issues are coming up with your child. The best way is to talk to your parents. I think we lack. Do we even keep medical history as Africans? We don't.
Most of the time we don't.
We don't even talk about like our medical issues. We take like somebody can be having like a condition, like a genetic condition, but accepting it is so it's hard to even pass on the information. But you seem to have a good support system, so that goes for you. So when it was I think eczema is not much of a like a unique condition, but in adulthood it comes with a lot of, sometimes stigmatization comes from people, relatives and everything and that. So when your child was diagnosed of this and it was confirmed, but either way I think you already had the confirmation yourself before you went to the doctor, so I believe in the acceptance, you already accepted it, and the fact that somebody else had in the family and you've seen them, it wasn't something like there wasn't any need of accepting that your child has this condition, having to move forward from it, looking for ways in how to actually handle it.
But at first it was hard because you're like, you are hoping against all odds that it doesn't get to follow him. But now here you are, and the heat kind of makes it worse,
Yes.
So you're like, oh my, now what am I expecting? What should I be dealing with, And then at that time he's pretty young, and when the heat comes up, he keeps crying. So you're like, is it the itchiness? And his hands are still too tiny. He can't even itch scratch his back, So it was kind of hard.
Hard at the beginning.
Yeah.
But you had accepted it, like this is it.
It took me some time to accept. Like now around when he was like 6 months.
Is it?
Yes, that's when I got to actually accept, okay, fine, this is it. And now I have to
deal with it.
Yeah, I have to look for ways of dealing with it and manage his condition better so that it doesn't get to a point where, sometimes it even gets to a point where the kids really itch and it becomes wounds, and now it's infections and what have you, so you're dealing with a lot more than the primary condition.
Yes.
Yeah. So at that point when I accepted and I started looking for ways how to manage it better, it just helped with everything else. Yeah.
That's nice. So for someone who has, I think Mombasa has a unit for such indications, what do you think you did better for your child actually, for him to be, comfortable and also maintain, the symptoms from coming up and, yeah.
What I did, by the way, I made Google my friend. In as much as my hubby hated it, but I just had to make it my friend, I had to look for ways in which you can just make the immunity of the skin better, So I had to put him on lots of smoothies, vegetable smoothies, You're blending spinach, you're blending broccoli and what else, just to help him have the vitamin E, a lot of it, Yeah, so it was that, and I also realized that for such kind of kids, you also have to watch on how long they spend in water, because the more they stay in water, the more their skin gets dry, the more their skin gets broken, and the more the rashes keep coming and coming and coming. So I had made sure that his bathing time is maximum 3 minutes and he's out of the water, and now you don't just rub the skin to dry it off, you have to like dampen it kidogo, Yeah, I also had to make sure I had all these moisturizers in place, I try out this, and finally I got what works for him. Yeah, what works well for him. Yeah, and I also just had to make sure that at all times he's covered, like his arms are covered, so that even if he crawls on the floor, the skin doesn't get rubbed on the floor.
Irritation.
Yeah, the irritation and everything else.
Google.
Google, my friend.
Google. I think I usually say Google and YouTube are two very good teachers. You just need to know what to filter, and you can learn so much. You can learn so much in a very short aspect of time to assist you towards it. So, are you in? Before I go to any support group, did you experience any? Did you experience any stigmatization per se? That your child is still young, but did you experience it? We get it from, I think, mostly friends, family, even just strangers.
Yeah.
Did you experience any?
Sometimes you'd find maybe when he's having the flare-ups and the other babies come to play with him, they think that this is actually a skin disease, and what is it called? Like the other baby can get it when they get to play with him. Like they didn't understand this is just something that is genetic, you know. So they're like, no, you make sure you don't keep touching him. You don't, you know. Yeah, so it really made me feel bad at times, you know.
Yeah, you don't know, you feel like you need to fix this, but it can't be fixed. You have to just live with it. At the same time, you want to explain to these babies to make them understand, but you know, sometimes you can't cross that boundary because of their parents. I think there as well, sometimes you get now the mom guilt or something of that sort. You just, you know, thinking through it.
But that's when I decided I'm gonna be an eczema advocate for these two babies, you know. So by at least creating that awareness, starting with your neighbors and your friends, and then the community at large, really helps. Because you might find there's also another parent who's having the same issues with the baby, but because they don't have that awareness, they don't know what exactly is happening, and they don't have expertise on how to deal with it, you know. So they're caught up in the same web. So I decided I'm going to speak up about it and get to educate other mothers about it as well.
You form something like a group for them or something of that sort, or just it's you talking to them?
Me talking to them directly, and also on my social media platforms. Yeah, I also kept talking about it from time to time. Even I still do that.
That's good. Actually, the one thing we lack when you're dealing with something you don't know about it for the first time as a mother, when you get the support or seeing other mothers with their children with the same condition, I think it gives you, you know, the yay to keep pushing on in life, and also helps you to deal with the stigmatization, because people can be very mean, even to kids. As much as they're innocent, they didn't choose this, but people can be very mean.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I believe now, because you know you have to watch you are strict on now on the, you know, taking care of your son. Even when now we are do you have nannies? You have to have because you're working.
Yeah, as a working mom.
So how do you deal with this condition, and how now do you deal with the nannies? Because for me, I personally, when I'm my child doesn't have any condition per se, but I think I bring nannies into my life differently than most people, because I usually interrogate them a lot. Like it's not much of an interrogation, but I want to learn more about them. I feel like this is someone that I need to trust my child with. I need this person to have the same interest that I have with my child, as much as I'm paying them. But I just need someone who cares a little for someone that is not their child. So I usually have like a very long list of questions that I ask, and I find that not even half, 90% of those that I talk to, I usually pissed off that I've asked such questions, but they don't understand that, you know, I need to understand you better first. So it helps me to cut down on nannies and get like one or two and decide on which one you're going to go with. Or, I'm going to go with, yes.
I'm also usually very strict. But anyway, so far, like the first nanny that I had, ever since my son was born, she was pretty good with the kid. Yeah, like in terms of cleanliness and just making sure that he's dry at all times, not soaked up in the pampers and everything else. She was really good, by the way. But now after that, oh my, the others that kept coming, like you just, for instance, check on the nails, they're dirty. You're like, oh my God, with my baby's skin, how am I going to manage this one? And it's a no for you. And you're like, I think I'll just have to go tomorrow morning, you know, like that. So it's not been an easy one with the nannies, but I usually train them within the first week when they come. And if they don't get to catch up, they just have to.
You have to let go. Yeah, I think that's what we're supposed to. That is one thing. Someone mentioned that for you to get a right nanny, you have to learn to fire the ones you have until you get the right one. You will always end up with the right one. And I think most of us are usually, we are so attached to, we don't want our nannies to leave, or you want someone to come in and, you know, stay in your life, but they're not serving you how you need to be served.
And you see, at the end of the day, you get to realize if the nanny is not good with taking care of the baby, it will all come back to you in terms of the medical expenses.
Yes.
You see? So you just have to make a choice. And I think we as mothers should avoid the attachment syndrome.
Yes, we do. We really do need to do that. Or this aspect that you're told, she's good with your baby, but in aspect, when you sit down and analyze, as much as she's good with your baby, there's some things that are lacking, and we need to just learn to let go and hope that God is going to give us someone who's going to take care of our baby.
And you wouldn't want to be 50-50. You're at work, your brain is still home. You're like, is my son okay? What have you, So when you think of such things, and it's not that this nanny is doing the work for free, you're paying her to do the work, So you have to make sure that at least she surpasses the 70% mark. That's usually it for me.
70%?
Yeah, 70%.
You have a scorecard?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, so what would you like? I know mothers are usually the ones who are hit hard when a child is diagnosed with a hereditary disease, because I remember some time ago, it was some few years ago, I had like a friend whose child was diagnosed with a certain condition, and I think they were they I usually tell people marry a scientist, because when you look at mothers who are scientists, they easily accept kids, like in case a child has a problem with hereditary, because they understand what hereditary is, they understand the biology side of it. But in this aspect, the mother was a scientist, yes, but now they were fighting with the husband who brought in, who gave the child this. Like it doesn't, they were now arguing, it does not come from my family, and the other one is, there's that there's that back and forth. No one wants to accept that it comes from their family, instead of sitting down and understanding, like going back to history, at least for your side, you had talked to your mom and yes, so there was, so you find that they were pulling and the child was actually being admitted in hospital, and they're fighting. That is the worst, and they're fighing.
What?
You see, so at the end of the day, women are usually blamed. Whether it is hereditary from your side or not, you're blamed. Women will always blame for either a bad child, whatever it is, fertility. And I think when you keep on creating awareness, it does away with so much of that. What would you now want to tell a mom who's just gotten a child maybe with equally the same diagnosis, or maybe a different one, but which is hereditary? What do you think you let them know? Like whether they are still in denial, or they are accepting, or they're just trying to move forward with the journey?
Okay. I think I would like to tell them, first, they should always know that they're their baby's first doctors. No one will get to understand your baby as much as you can, So don't just let the nanny take care of your baby. Be there for the baby. Like, we should always purpose to do intentional parenting, You be there through every step of the way. That's the only way you can be able to understand your baby pretty well, And when there is that understanding, even if you go to the doctor, you can always help guide the doctor, in terms of the diagnosis and the treatment options, because what works for another patient may not work for you. So if you get to have that proper knowledge, it can also help. And in terms of preparation, I would advise mothers out here, when they're planning to get babies, get to understand family history from both sides. Get to talk to your mom-in-law, get to know where do they stand medically, so that by the time you get to have these genetic conditions manifesting in your children, you will have a better understanding of where it's coming from and how well you can manage it, But without that, there'll be those issues of conflict coming in. Because no one wants to accept that this is coming from my side. No one wants to accept
No one wants.
But if you get to understand that it's actually coming from both sides, you will manage it in a much better way, and you'll also be able to give the kid the support that they require for them to grow up normally, like other healthy babies, So I will also urge them, for the mothers who have kids with the same condition, you can always try and make sure that you get clothes that are cotton made, like purely cotton. Purely cotton. And they should just try out on the moisturized. There are very many in the market right now. So what works for one baby might not work for your baby, so you have to keep trying until you find that which best suits your baby. And you also have to keep training the nannies, because you might have the understanding, but they cannot have. So you have to also train them when they come that, hey, my baby doesn't have to spend so much time in water. My baby has to keep having the moisturizer on their skin all the time, like during the day, even when they're home. They bathe in the morning, around midday get to apply some moisturizer, just taking them through the whole journey will also enable them to make sure that your kid is healthy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I think that we also need to learn to, sometimes speak up with doctors. I think sometimes we are, I don't know, it's the aspect that we believe they know more than we do, or they're trained on this. So when they recommend on something that doesn't work for our child, we feel like maybe we are, maybe we are looking at it in a different aspect. I think when we are more vocal and through understanding, we can be more vocal with our doctors. You understand what you're coming from. You look for someone who knows what this is, or whatever the child is going through. Maybe your mother, maybe your sister or someone else. And when you understand that, you can be able to actually be more vocal to your doctor, and you can find the best solution for your child.
Yeah. And by the way, for some conditions, there are actually support groups out here. Like I usually see for preeclampsia, you'll find most of the times the mothers who give birth to premature babies,
Yes.
Yeah, so if you find yourself in such circumstances, you can always look out for the support groups. They actually really help.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because you'll find some mothers usually go through post-traumatic stress disorders, Yeah, because of such occurrences. But if you actually find yourself a support group where you can actually just genuinely pour out what you really feel, it will help a great
Will help
deal.
a lot, because people with the same in your same situation, they understand your scope of you can be talking to someone and they don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, instead they'll be judging
they'll be
you.
judging you. Yes. And I think we fear being judged, so we bottle things up, and I think that's the reason as to why there's a lot of mental issues going around. So in Mombasa, do you guys have like a support group for the condition?
Actually, we're in the process of founding one. Yeah, there's one for the eczema babies, and also we're having another one for babies who have vision impairment, Yeah, that caters for the keratoconus, and also babies who have allergic conjunctivitis, like they just keep itching their eyes when they're exposed to the different allergens. Yeah, we're also in the process of founding another one.
So being an activist, where should people find you? Like, how can someone who's watching this and they're going through they're experiencing this currently. I know it's hard for like a mom to accept something. So where can they find you, reach you out, talk to you? Yes.
In case anyone would want to talk maybe on one-on-one, they can always call me up. Yeah, so should I share my number?
You can share if you're comfortable. You can share. Share.
I have a business line that you can find me on 0758 53 22 56, and most of the time I usually share the health issues on my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, just Lorraine Zaiwa. They can always find me there as well. Yeah, and also on Facebook. Yeah, as Lorraine Rain Amkohe. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Lorraine, for coming up, sharing your experience, and thank you for enlightening moms on the various conditions that we get as mothers, experiences we have as mothers. So thank you for your time.
Thank you too for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. So as always, you can thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. You can as well go back to watching our other videos on motherhood. And if you feel like you have more content that you want us to explore, kindly just comment down on the video. And thank you guys. Bye bye. See yourself smiling.